Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you the way I'm using my daily Roman Catholic Missal. This is the 1962 edition by Angelus Press. As you can see here, this is the edition that I'm having. So in my parish we're having the Latin Mass for every Sunday as well as every big feast or a day of obligation. So that's what I'm using it for. And I will just show you the way I'm using it for, because people have been asking me since they see it all tabbed. So to begin with, we see the ribbons here, and we can pretty fast make the connection with the seasons in like the liturgical colors. As we know, Lent and Advent is purple, feasts are in white, martyrs are in red, ordinary time is green, and so on and so forth. However, I have not found that to be the case when it comes to this missal. They're not meant to be used for like different liturgical seasons. So let's begin with the first one, what I'm using the first one for, and this is, as you can see, the Angelus I'm praying this, and then the Litany of the Sacred Heart, because in my parish we're having the Litany of the Sacred Heart every Friday. So let's begin with like the important part, the Mass. I'm using this at every Sunday Mass as well as days of obligation and big feasts when I'm going to the traditional Latin Mass. This missal is meant for the traditional Latin Mass or the extraordinary form of the Mass. So the Mass in my missal starts in the first red tab, the one on top. And it starts with the Aspergesme, which is the sprinkling with water. So this is the Aspergesme. This is a hymn. And that's how the Mass starts. Father sprinkles you with water. So here you have the Latin as well as the English translation. So after this has been done, Mass itself begins in the red ribbon, and it begins with the sign of the cross, as you can see, and then I have written kneel. I also have it like the gestures that we're supposed to be doing written in red here. So this is how Mass starts. Then I'm not moving the ribbons themselves, they're just staying in the same exact place, so that for next Mass I just don't have to move them around. So then we have Mass here. Usually after the sign of the cross, we will immediately start, our choir will start singing the introit, which is here, the first yellow tab. The tabs are in different colors. As you can see, I have yellow and then I have blue. Yellow is because this is Mass of the Catechumens. This is where the readings will happen. And this is the Mass of the Faithful, where the sacrifice on the altar will happen. So immediately after the sign of the cross, our choir will start singing the introit, which is supposed to be the first yellow tab. As we can see, we will continue kneeling and the introit will happen. Where is that? So the propers are always in the yellow, in the white ribbon. So now I will flip through just to see the introit. Next Sunday we'll have the 11th Sunday after Pentecost. So this is the introit for next Mass. So I will follow along, and then I know I'm supposed to be at the yellow tab, the first yellow tab. So then when I'm done, I'll just flip. Then the Kyrie eleison will happen. This also, the choir is singing this part, and when they're done, I'm gonna flip the page, and it will be the Gloria. So I have it written here. You're supposed to stand for that. Then you're supposed to sit when Father sits, and then after that, when Father says Dominus vobiscum, you're supposed to stand. Then we have the collect, and also this is a proper. So again, we'll have to flip through the page. We'll see the collect after the introit. This is the collect. So I'll follow along with that. Then I know I'm supposed to be in the second yellow tab. So I'm flipping on the yellow tab, the second one. So after this, we will have to sit for the epistle. This is also a proper, so I know I'm on the second yellow tab. I'm flipping on the white ribbon, so you can see the epistle is here. So when I'm moving when I'm moving forward, I would just have to flip through and then put my white ribbon here so that I know where I'm supposed to be. Then I know after the epistle is ended, I'm on the second yellow tab. I'm moving, following along. Then I'll flip through the page when we're done, and we have the gradual here. So again, I'm using the white ribbon, moving it. So the gradual is supposed to be here. Then we have the Alleluia. Again, now we're supposed to be on the second yellow tab. So after the gradual has been done, we have the Dominus Vobiscum, which means the gospel is following. So again, for the gospel, you're supposed to go on the white ribbon. So the gospel will be found here. This is where the gospel starts. That's for next Sunday, 11th Sunday after Pentecost. So I know I'm supposed to be on the third, also last yellow tab. So after the gospel has been done, the response is Laus tibi Christe, which you're not supposed to say if you're not an altar server. So after this, usually follows a homily. So then I'll just close my missal because I don't have to do anything with it. So then when Father has ended his homily, I know I'm supposed to be on the green ribbon, which means this is the credo. So I open it because usually that's the time when I close my missal. So then I open on the green ribbon after the homily. So this is the credo. You'll most likely hear it sung if it's a high mass. So I've written here, sit when Father sits. So that's what I'm going to do. We do a profound bow here in the name of Jesus, and then we have to genuflect here on the et incarnatus est de Spiritus Sancto ex Maria Virgine et homo factus est. We're supposed to genuflect at this moment. Then I'll flip on the first blue tab, which is the beginning of the Mass of the Faithful, and we'll have the antiphon at the offertory here. So this again could be found here, as you can see, offertory. Then we'll go back to the first blue tab. So most of the prayers here, they're quiet prayers, so you probably won't even hear them. That's why I have it tabbed, because most of the prayers I won't even hear. So on the next, it's like a small tab under the offertory. This one you'll most likely hear, Ora te fratres, and Father will turn around. This is audible. This is an audible part, so you can just follow along easier. Then we have the secret here, which is also found under the white ribbon. So you're supposed to be here. So then we'll move forward. This is the preface of the Mass. Dominus vobiscum et cum spiritu tuo sursum corda habemus ad Dominum, and so on and so forth. Then these are the prefaces. Now we're in ordinary time, so we're using the preface of the Most Holy Trinity, which is this one. I have it underlined. So then immediately we're going to the Sanctus, which is this one. It's the first green tab, the first and the only one that I have. I know we're supposed to kneel, as I have it written here. Then we'll move along with Father. Here he will elevate the host, the consecrated host. On the next part, he will elevate the chalice. Excuse me. He will elevate the chalice in this moment. So then I'm moving along to the next audible part, which is the nobis quoque peccatoribus. This one you will hear being said. So then the next part that I will probably need is this one, after per omnia saecula saeculorum, which you will hear. You're supposed to stand because the Our Father follows. During the Latin Mass, the Pater Noster or the Our Father will pray this. You're only supposed to say this one, sed libera nos a malo, or if you have a choir, they'll most likely sing it. So we move forward to the Pax Domini sit semper vobiscum, where you're supposed to kneel because the Agnus Dei follows. So this part. Then you will most likely hear some prayers like the Domine non sum dignus, which will be said with bells. You most likely recognize this part. Then the altar servers will say it along with the priest. We have the Ecce Agnus Dei. This one you will hear. Then you will probably go to receive communion. Then I know that this is the time when I'm going to receive communion, so I will close my missal. As it's closed, I know I'm supposed to go on the last blue tab. And then I know I'm supposed to stand, because Father will say Dominus vobiscum. So I'm supposed to stand here. So this is the dismissal here, the conclusion of Mass. Father will say Dominus vobiscum. Then after he says Ite missa est, and the choir replies Deo gratias, you're supposed to kneel for the blessing, the final blessing. Then you're supposed to stand again for the last gospel. Father will say Dominus vobiscum again. You're supposed to stand, and I know this is like the last tab that I have. It's for the last gospel, which is actually the first. This is the beginning of the Gospel of John. So you'll hear this sung or said out loud. This is a part which you'll hear. And then after the last Deo gratias, you're supposed to kneel, as I have written here. So after this, you'll have the Salve Regina prayer. It's a hymn to Our Lady. You'll hear this said or sung, most likely sung, if it's a high mass. So basically, that's how I'm using my 1962 daily Catholic Missal for the extraordinary form of the Mass, or the traditional Latin Mass. What I'm using the black ribbon for, this one is used for feasts, because usually if it's a feast, you're not supposed to follow on the white ribbon, but on the black ribbon. Is Saint Anne. We had recently celebrated Saint Anne. The introit and like the whole the propers are here. So the propers for feasts are supposed to be on the black ribbon. Meanwhile, the propers for Sunday Mass are here on the white ribbon. So basically, that's how I'm using my missal. If you have any questions, you might drop them in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer. But it's important to know that I am a beginner in the traditional Latin Mass. I've been going for about 3 months now. I've been going to the traditional Latin Mass. I found it to be very beautiful, very enriching. So this is the way in which I am using my missal. There, of course, that's not the only possible way to be using it, but I found this to be an easier way to use my missal, as well as in some parishes you will see the Benedictus Missal, which is a shortened version of the missal. It's only for a month. This is for the month of July 2024. We have Holy Mass here. So this is the 10th Sunday after Pentecost. That was yesterday. So it's an easier way to follow if you don't have the big missal. Because they're expensive. So these ones run for around $5. So you can obtain one of these for very cheap, or if you have these at your parish for use, you can take them. So it's an easier one, because then you don't have to do all the flipping through, because all the prayers are here. You don't have to flip through, you just have to follow along. But of course, if you are using the black missal, the big one, you might have to do some flipping through back and forth. So these ones are also a good missal to use. It's a short one, but the bad thing is that they are only for a month. However, they have some beautiful devotions here, some prayers. They also have it's not only for Sunday though, it's for the whole month. As you can see, it's like they have daily meditations, they have feasts, they have prayers like the rosary here, the Angelus. They have a lot of prayers: prayer for work, for obligation, for protection. They have a daily examen. They have the antiphons here, They also have the asparagus, as I showed you in the big missal. They have it even with the notation, so if you know Gregorian chants, you can follow along. They have the Leonine prayers, and then they have catechesis here. It's a good missal, a short one. So if you don't want to get the big one, because usually if you're a beginner at the Latin Mass, you will have to use a missal in order to understand what's going on. So either of these would work for you. If you need a missal, if you feel like you need to understand what's happening, either of these will work. So in short, that was what I wanted to show you, how I use my traditional Latin Mass missal.